We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Wednesday, February 13th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's up, man? Good little night for NBA. It was a fun slate, man. It was a really fun slate. We kind of played out exactly how we thought it would with a couple of good games. Glad we had exposure to those and ready to move on. Big slate for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Monster slate. Like you said, very good night tonight for the money team. Like I said, dude, if you haven't checked out the site, check it out, dfscheatsheet.com. Hey, check it out. If you don't like it, you move on, but I'm pretty sure once you get here, you're definitely going to like it. So, yeah, real quick, before we jump into this video, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second. Click the like button down below for me. Make sure that you're subscribed, have those notifications turned on as well. And, yeah, man, let's just jump in this slate and kind of get it going. So the first game we're going to go with is going to be the Brooklyn Nets going into Cleveland to face the Cavaliers. I don't have – do you have the over and under on this line?
Yeah, it looks like it's 221, and Brooklyn is favored by 6.5.
Okay, cool. I just had to refresh my screen real quick. So yeah, so it's 221. Brooklyn favored by 6.5. Yeah, so go ahead and get us started with the Brooklyn side of things.
So just when you think D'Angelo Russell's too expensive, he drops 14 assists on you, right? So $9,000. We know Brooklyn's competitive. Surprisingly, the Cleveland Cavaliers, with this rotation that they've run out there and kind of playing a smaller format of basketball, they've been somewhat competitive as well. So, hey, it's the trend of the NBA to play a lot smaller. I look for this game to be somewhat competitive. It's the last game before, I think, for both these teams before they go to the All-Star break. So D'Angelo Russell at 9,000 on a big slate is kind of a tough pill to swallow. But if you want to get some exposure to somebody early in the first contest, I don't have a problem with it. The guy I'm looking at, though, in this one to have kind of a bounce back game, if you will, it's a really good spot, is Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen at 5.7 is a very solid tournament play in this spot going against Cleveland. Kevin Love, I think, we kind of were very close with what we thought. I said 10 to 14 minutes. He came off 6. I said I'd be surprised if he plays more than 14 minutes. I think he played right at 14 minutes. Surprisingly, on a different note, what Kevin Love has done in 2 games and 21 minutes is amazing. But you're going to get Marquise Chris, and there's not really, let's see what happens with Zizic if he gets ruled out. But this is a really good spot for Jared Allen at 5.7. That's kind of it for me on this side of it. I'm not going to – it's a large slate. There's plenty of other places to look. But D'Angelo Russell, I'm finding them in tournaments. And Jared Allen at 5.7 I think is a pretty good spot without a center.
Yeah, on the Cleveland side of things, I mean, I think we got some good value here. First thing, we'll start with the guys you could pay up for. Larry Nance, he's been playing very, very well. He's playing a ton of minutes right now. He's got, I think, 33, 35, and 38 or something like that the past 3 games, averaging, about 35 minutes a game right now. If he's going to play those kind of minutes, we always say it. We like big guys going against the Nets. I think that Larry Nance definitely could have a good game. You can look at Jordan Clarkson as well. He's still coming off the bench, but we know when that guy comes in, he chucks the ball. He's a really good scorer. He can pass the ball as well. A solid defender. So I think that you can look at Clarkson. Those are the pay-up guys. Kevin Love, I'm no thanks with the minute limit. Not really looking at Sexton. The 3 guys I like for value is going to be Brandon Knight, 3,500. Yes, he only played – I think he played like 15, 16. Let me look real quick. He played 16 minutes the last game. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. You can see in 16 minutes he got you 9, 3, and 2. Maybe they'll extend his run a little bit and he'll get 20 to 22 minutes. He's a bare minimum price tag. This is a guy that can score the ball in bunches. So I think at like I said, absolute bare minimum, he's a really good drop spot you can look at and have some GPP upside. Nwaba, he hasn't had a really good game yet, but 3,900, he's getting the minutes. I mean, he's played 29, 23, okay, but then 32. So in two of the past three games, he's got you 29 and 32. He's a guy that he plays really good defense. He can get hot, shoot the three, as you see against Washington. He scores 17 and 8. So he has some upside on this price tag. I think he's a really good play. And then one more guy that you got me on last game. He did very well for us, 4.3. Yes, the price tag came up a little bit, but no, it's still a very fair price tag, 4,300. You need about 21, 22 for value. The guy's playing about 23, 24 minutes a game, and I mean he's a guy that he comes out and he's very active. I seen him, a game last year. He had like 4 blocks in a game, 5 blocks. So the guy has some upside as long as he doesn't get in foul trouble. And Kevin Love is going to continue to be on a minutes limit for a while. So I think that Chris definitely will get his still. So yeah, I mean on the Cleveland side thing, I think that those are our 3 really really good value plays. And then you could look at Nance and look at Clarkson.
You have to give Kevin Love consideration tomorrow. You have to. You just have to, because he played 16 minutes. He had 14 points and 9 rebounds. 14 points and 9 rebounds is a full game for a lot of people. We know Brooklyn is not great rebounding the basketball. We know Jared Allen is not a very good center, although he's become very famous for blocking everybody in the league shot. But you have to give Kevin Love consideration, at least in tournaments, at 5.2 and get some exposure to him, because he can definitely, with what he's done in 2 games, if you just look at what he's done in 2 games, coming into their last game, the comment I made was, actually, you made the comment like, I'm glad I avoided him. And the comment I made back was, the guy still took like 7 shots. And I think he took 5 threes and was 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. But then he bounces right back, right off what we said, doubles his minutes, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 16 minutes. That's insane. So if he's going to play that with that much energy and know he's got a limited amount of opportunity to do it, basically the first half, look, 16 minutes, if he's going to play a half of basketball, that's 8 and 8, or somewhere in that neighborhood. So you're going to probably get a really solid full first quarter out of the guy. And we've seen Kevin Love put up 30 plus fantasy points in 1 quarter of basketball before. Matter of fact, I remember a spot last year, a very chalky spot, where he put up 37 in the first quarter. So you have to give him consideration in tournaments. You just have to. And with regards to Marquise Chris, with the minutes limit, I told you guys this the very first time he was available in Cleveland. Marquise Chris is on a team where he was wanted, and so is Brandon Knight. They rolled Brandon Knight as a starter. It's only a matter of time before Brandon Knight's minutes go up as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Cleveland isn't a team that I'm usually very interested in, but I definitely think there's some really, really good value plays there that you could look at tomorrow, because that value is always gold in DFS. We got to find that value. So good value plays on the Cleveland side of things. Moving on, next game we're gonna go with is gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks going into Indiana to face the Pacers. This game has a 218.5 over under, and Milwaukee's favored by 3.5 in this one.
You got to start with the guy himself, Giannis. Averaging 26.2, 11 and 5 over his last 5 games. It's a 3.5 point spread. We know where Milwaukee stands. I think Milwaukee looks to make a statement in this one against a very good playoff caliber team in the Pacers. Going into the playoffs, you pop open his game log, you take a look at what he's done. Nothing impressive the last time they played in 31 minutes. Almost has a triple-double at 12, 10, and 7. But you can see earlier in the year, 26, 15, and 5 for 51 fantasy points, 53 when he played him last year. You have to kind of think that 50 is probably his floor in this game at 11.9. But the thing I like about this is, like I said, I think that this is a statement game. Finish the first half with a statement win going into the All-Star break. The attention is going to be on Giannis. He's the captain of one of the Eastern Conference All-Stars. I think this is a good opportunity for them to get a statement win to close out the first half, and I really like Giannis. You can look at the supporting cast as well. You look at Malcolm Brogdon at 5.8. It's a reduced price tag. We've seen the guy all the way up to 6.6. It's a reduced price tag. I really wish Mirotic was playing, because I think the style of game this is, or at least the style of talent that the Pacers have, this would be a great matchup for Mirotic. Maybe we get some news. I haven't even looked to see if he's actually been officially ruled out. I'm used to us just kind of carrying over until we get news. He is out again Wednesday, so that's too bad. We won't see him in the first half. But I just like Giannis in this spot a lot. I think it's an opportunity for them to put a statement win on the board to close out the first half. DJ Wilson continues to be a popular drop spot play, but the upside's kind of not there anymore. It's not what it was. Earlier in the year, I liked him before anybody got him. I remember was talking to you about DJ Wilson back around Christmas time. So I'm not there. I think Marquise Chris for 800 more is a better play. So that's kind of where I'm at. I love Giannis. I don't have a problem with any of the other guys, to be honest with you, but Giannis is a guy I'm looking for a statement win from the Bucks.
Yeah, man. On the pitcher side of things, Miles Turner, he's in play going against Brook Lopez, but the 8.2 price tag scares me. He's a GPP play, but outside of Miles Turner, I feel like he's a little bit overpriced. I actually really like the prices on all four of these starters. Yeah, the price went down a little bit to 6,400. The guy's been playing very, very well. Carlson 6,500. He's been playing well. Bogdanovich 5,500. And this guy, I mean, I was just checking him out. The guy's been playing pretty good. I mean, in what, 2 of his past 4 games, he's got you 42 fantasy points, showing you the upside. He's going to get you a solid, pretty much 25 is really his floor with the upside. I definitely think he's in play. They're going to need scoring. And the one guy I'm going to continue to play, I mean, Sabonis, he's not getting the run. He does have some upside. You can throw him in GPPs. But the guy I was talking about is Corey Joseph. I mean, they're kind of whatever with the Tyreek Evans. I mean, this guy, for the most part, he's playing, coming off the bench, but he's still playing right around 30 minutes. The guy was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double just 2 games ago, got you 38 fantasy points. The game before got you 34 fantasy points. I mean, and on a 4,000 price tag, you really need 20 for value. He's almost minimum price, and the guy has in 2 of the past 3 games, 34 fantasy points. I definitely think you can go right back to the Corey Joseph well. He's in play. But that's really where I'm at with the Pacers.
Stay away from Corey Joseph, bro.
Stay away.
Just if you pop open his game log and take a look, he played 20 minutes in their last game, and that was the debut of Wesley Matthews. What Corey Joseph, we know, was starting as a 2-guard. Wesley Matthews is their 2-guard now. He played, I think, 27 or 28 or 29 minutes. Wesley Matthews, if you pop open his game log and look at what he's done specifically against Milwaukee, he's averaged like 37 fantasy points the last 3 times they've played. 4.4 for Wesley Matthews starting. I would much rather have that in this game, a guy who's a perimeter shooter who can space the floor for them and help them out over Corey Joseph coming off the bench now in a diminished capacity. He's not that starting lineup. You're going to take 6 to 8 minutes away from him in the rotation. So I would wait and see if he becomes like the 6th man in this rotation. But
that's definitely what's going to happen for sure, bro.
I don't know though, because they've got Sabonis, and I think Sabonis is their 6th man. To be honest with you,
yeah, but that team, they're really high on Corey Joseph. We've seen it, year after year. But I get you though for sure, and that's why I mentioned with Wesley Matthews. He's a guy. He is probably going to end up getting into that role where he's going to play 32 minutes in a game, 34 minutes, somewhere around there. But yeah, let's move on. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers going into New York to face the Knicks. This game has a 222.5 over under, and Philadelphia is favored by 9.5 in this one.
I've been coaching sports for a long time, bro. A long time. And there's always a letdown. There's always a letdown. And this was a big game tonight on national TV, down to the wire, fully emotional home game. We know they tout their home record and they didn't get it done tonight, right? And that's Philadelphia. And there's always a letdown in sports after these types of games. And I think this game will be competitive. I just do. I think that there'll be a letdown. I don't look for Philadelphia just to come out and wax the Knicks. Having said that, Ben Simmons at 8.8 is going to figure it out. I think he had 35 fantasy points or 37 fantasy points tonight. I think he's going to figure it out. Tobias Harris, he's clearly showing that he's their 2nd kind of spot-up shooter. J.J. Redick's the guy they run off screens, and Jimmy Butler is a little bit more of isolation player, and they are running things through Embiid first. This thing's going to continue to get better. The All-Star break will help them out. I just think that I kind of want to avoid Philadelphia in this one, just coming off an emotional win with the All-Star break in front of them. This is a letdown spot. For me, I've done this. I've coached for a long time, and I've been around athletes for a long time, and this feels like to me, avoid Philadelphia. This is a letdown spot.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying completely. On the Knicks side of things, I definitely think that the 76ers are going to win this game still. DeAndre Jordan, the price tag's down to 6,100, but he's not getting the minutes that, he was getting in Dallas. He's playing, 22 to 25 minutes. He's not in the 30s, so I'm not going to look at him. In all honesty, the only guy really going to look at for the Knicks is going to be Dennis Smith. I mean, he solidified himself as the point guard. 7,200 still, not too bad of a price tag for him. You need about 35, 36 for value. The price tag, the price tag is kind of the borderline right there. He still has some upside, but I wish it was a little bit cheaper. I like Dennis Smith a lot, honestly, in this spot. But I mean, I don't know. Do you like anybody else on the Knicks outside of Dennis Smith?
You know what? I don't. And if there was one guy that I would give a few entries to in tournaments, it would be Kevin Knox, just because he's jacking up a lot of threes.
Right.
From the small forward position. But huh?
I said he's not very efficient though.
He's not very efficient. And then just a rule of thumb is we always try to avoid people that are going to face Jimmy Butler, and I can't get behind really anybody. I just think that I just think this game's going to be a lot more competitive, and it's going to be a letdown game for Philadelphia. I would take the under in this game. I'm just going to tell you that I would take the under.
The Knicks are playing a lot of guys. That's kind of really the problem.
Mitchell Robinson's starting to get run again, so no Van Lay and all these guys are getting diminished time. Cornette, Kadeem Allen's a guy you could take a chance on. I'll give you that guy. Kadeem Allen's a guy you could take a chance on. He's the other point guard that they have. He's a guy you could take a chance on. The other night, they both Kadeem Allen and Dennis Smith Jr. had decent games. Kadeem Allen's a guy at 4,000 in tournaments. He's a dart play.
Yeah, moving on. Next game we're going to go with, it's going to be the Detroit Pistons going into Boston to face the Celtics. Obviously, we're waiting on some injury news, Kyrie Irving, etc. So, yeah, we don't have over-under a Vegas line. So go ahead and get us started on the Pistons side of things.
Again, man, look. The emotional letdown is real in sports, man. It is. It is. So, here's another one. And, is Kyrie Irving playing tomorrow? Who knows? The knee soreness has been a real thing for him. He had the scare, where he was up to the locker room. If he doesn't play, then maybe we look at this a little bit different. But I'm going to continue to tell you that there's only two guys that are playable here, and that's Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin. If Ish Smith wasn't in the picture, I would look at Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's minutes have kind of stabled off a little bit, but 5.8 for tournaments, I could get behind it a little bit for a little bit of exposure. But outside of that, I just can't. I can't get behind this. I mean, I do like Drummond a lot. I get recency bias in this spot because I absolutely love Drummond in this spot. I think a year ago or 2 years ago, and he got the new NBA rule where the non-basketball contact play, and he got flagrant 2 and got ejected. But he's killed Boston in the past. He has.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, on the Celtics, I think you play that I think either way is a really good play is Marcus Morris, 5,100. Yes, I'm going to start with Marcus.
Say that one more time. I didn't hear what you said.
I said, yes, I'm going to start with Marcus Morris as my first guy I'm going to talk about for the Celtics. 5,100. I just think he's a very fair price tag. He's solidified in that starting lineup. He's playing, high 20s, low 30s, depending on kind of the game flow. So I like Marcus Morris. I like the price tag a lot. But these other guys, I mean, I have to wait just because I need to figure out what's going on with Kyrie. If Kyrie's in, then I don't really, care too much for any of the other Boston guys. But Kyrie's out, then you can go to everybody. You can go back to the Tatum, who gets a lot more he gets a lot more responsibility, in my opinion, with Kyrie out. You can go to Tatum, you can go to Smart, you can go back to Brown, Rozier, even Hayward. Hayward plays a lot better when Kyrie's out because he gets, kind of more offense pushed on him. But for me, all the guys I talked about, if Kyrie's out or in play, but if Kyrie's in, I'm not really interested in him. Marcus Morris is a guy that I kind of like either way.
I do not like Marcus Morris if Kyrie Irving plays. And that just you take a look at his usage in games with Kyrie Irving, he shoots a lot more threes, and in games without Kyrie Irving, his usage rate is a little bit higher, and he gets you some assists and he gets more rebounds, etc. So if Kyrie's out, I think 5.1 for Marcus Morris is very efficient. He helps facilitate the offense. You can even look at Gordon Hayward again. His numbers are always up when Kyrie's out. I was thinking about that watching the game today.
Yeah, I said that already for sure.
They look like don't they look like a better complete basketball team without Kyrie?
They just play like a team,
right?
And when Kyrie's in there, it's more just ISO ball,
mm-hmm.
for sure. Moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the Washington Wizards going into Toronto to face the Raptors. This game has a 234 over under, and Toronto's favored by 11 in there.
I don't know here. I mean, I don't know here. Trevor Ariza is the safest play, and that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, Jabari Parker, play him again. Recency bias will keep people off him with the price increase. And it's not like it's a bad spot. I mean, Jabari Parker, if he's going to get run, we know Jabari Parker is a good player in the NBA, 4.6. I don't have any problem with it in tournaments. I go right back to him in tournaments for the simple fact, like I just said, recency bias. He burned a ton of people in a very chalk spot. People will avoid him. One, they were burned by him, and two, his price is up $700 since then. So go right back to the well in tournaments with him for sure. Outside of that, I'll play Ariza in tournaments. Ariza's playing out of his mind, but that's really it.
Yeah, man.
The best play in this game is Gasol.
Yeah, I mean, I get to play Gasol, but I mean, it's still 7,000. You need 35 for value. The minutes just haven't been up yet. I mean,
They will
18, 22. No, I know they are going to come up, and I know he's going to end up going into the starting lineup. It's just, is it going to be tomorrow? And one more question I have is, if the game turns into a blowout, are they really going to play Gasol in a blowout? You know what I mean?
Depends what they're trying to accomplish before the break.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, 7,000, very good price tag for Gasol. I mean,
it's a great tournament play.
Yeah, I'm not really playing no Raptors. I mean, Ibaka, Siakam, you could use him as one of your power forwards to give you solid floors. Leonard 9,500, Kyle Lowry 8,000. They're fair, but I just think this game is going to get ugly.
Move on.
Yep, cool, man. Yeah, I'm not. That game, I think, is going to get out of hand for sure. We got Houston Rockets going into Minnesota. We don't have an over/under or Vegas line yet. But yeah, man, this should be a pretty good game. The Rockets and Timberwolves.
If there's one thing I could tell you that's absolutely 100% a certain, as long as James Harden can walk tomorrow, they will give him every opportunity, no matter what the score is, to get 30 points. That's the one thing I can guarantee. They did it again the other night. There was a minute and something left. They were up by 20, and they had James Harden out there chucking up three. So that's the one thing I can guarantee with this game, that if he can walk, they will give him every opportunity to score 30 points tomorrow, no matter what the score is. So if you want to play James Harden tomorrow, feel free in tournaments. I don't think it's a cash play. Chris Paul remains a fair price at 8.2. This game should be fairly competitive. Kenneth Faried priced back to reality at 6.8. I like that. Eric Gordon, 5,000. I think he's a really good price, and he's playable in tournaments. And then Shumpert at 3.9. I think that you can continue to play him. I said when he was in Sacramento, the same thing. It's a tournament play. On any given night, the guy can give you 30. So it makes it a tournament play only. But that's kind of where I'm at with these guys. Gerald Green's a guy you could take a shot with in tournaments with Austin Rivers out. But I think Eric Gordon's the biggest beneficiary here. And again, Kenneth Faried, 6.8 is probably my favorite play. Back to reality with his price, and more than capable against this Minnesota team and what they're offering up to exceed value there.
Yeah, man, for sure. And then on the Minnesota side of things, okay, so I got something for you. Okay, we were talking about Marcus Morris and the 5.1 price tag, right? So Kyrie's out, you look at Marcus Morris. If Kyrie's in, you pivot to Dario Saric for the exact same price. They've already confirmed that he's going to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. I think they're kind of moving forward as Dario Saric, as their power forward. And we know this guy. I mean, the guy has upside. We used to play him a lot, in Philadelphia. At least I did. Last game, 33 minutes. He got you 19, 8, 2 steals. 3 of the past 4 games, he's got you at least 28 fantasy points. I mean, that's already 5.5x right there. So, that's a perfect thing right there. No Kyrie. You can look at Morris with the extra responsibilities. Kyrie comes back. We don't like the spot as much anymore. Definitely could pivot to Saric. And I could even see, if Kyrie was out, you could play both of these guys at 5.1, and they both have 35 plus fantasy point upside. You could kind of move on with your power forward spots. But I really, really like Sark. This is the up tempo game. He's going to be running back and forth. This guy likes to pull up for threes. So I definitely think Sarge is a really, really good play tomorrow. Karl Anthony Towns, the price tag has dropped a little bit. We've been playing bigs against Houston with
Hey,
no.
bro, can I tell you something?
So
Just because I know we only have 2 games, so you're not going to have all the info. I have played Karl Anthony Towns in every game he's played against Houston for the last 3 years, and if you go back and look, he has killed Houston
yeah,
every single time he's played him except one. I'm talking like 60, 59,
yeah.
72, 81. He murders Houston.
Yeah, for sure. And then I mean they have no Clint Capella right now, so we've been
On
playing.
top of it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to have a really good game. I like Towns and I like Sark. I actually like a few guys. I like Jeff Teague. He's still too cheap, 6,100. He's back to doing Jeff Teague things. He's a $7,000 player. Last game played 34 minutes, 19, 4, 10. I think Teague is underpriced in an up-tempo game. I really, really like Teague. Wiggins, I actually want Wiggins to be out. If Wiggins is out tomorrow, he's questionable right now. If he's out, I'm going to go right back to the Derrick Rose. 5.7 last game. He played a bunch. Well, he didn't play a bunch. He played 24 minutes, but he's a guy that's been playing well and he's efficient with his minutes. 22, 1, 6, 1, 1 for 35 fantasy points. 5.7. I definitely can see him if this game is competitive down the stretch, playing a couple extra minutes. Going against Chris Paul. This is a game that I think they're going to get up for. So I really like Rose if Wiggins is out. Jeff Teague is a really, really good play. Sarge and Karl Anthony Towns. I like targeting Houston in up-tempo games. A lot of threes are shot by Houston, so there's a lot of rebounds to go around on the Timberwolves as well. Okogie, price tag up a little bit. I know that he's a guy people have been playing when Wiggins is out. I'm not really interested, so that's really it for me. I'm ready to move on.
Okogie was a good drop spot play, and that was that. I'm going to tell you right now that if Andrew Wiggins is out, you heard it here. One of the things I like about doing this video at night is we get to say stuff that people could hear here first before they go read it or see it on other sites. You heard it here first. Luol Deng will play 35 minutes tomorrow night. He's played monster minutes in the last 2 games at 4.1.
Yeah.
If Wiggins is out, Luol Deng is a premier small forward number 2 on tomorrow's slate. Like you mentioned before, a lot of threes go up. He's a very big small forward. He's more of a power forward body. He's like found the fountain of youth here. Remember, this guy hasn't really played. He's just kind of taken up a roster spot. So he's an old man with fresh legs, a lot of rebounds to be had. I love Luol Deng. In fact, he's probably my favorite play at small forward 2 if Wiggins is ruled out.
Yeah, I completely. I played. It's funny that I forgot him. We played him yesterday in our Draftkings line. Like I had him, and for some reason right now I was like, I'm forgetting somebody. But come on, Luol Deng, like But that's a very good call though. I really like that one. Moving on, next game we're gonna go with is gonna be the Memphis Grizzlies going into Chicago to face the Bulls. This game has a 203 over under, and Chicago's favored by 2 in this one.
Mike Conley. So the thing is Mike Conley and Andrew Wiggins both have illnesses. The All-Star break's coming up. Wiggins missed practice today. We know Conley was ruled out today, so he couldn't participate. I kind of look for both those guys to be ruled out and just go into the All-Star break and call it a day, right? So if Conley is ruled out, go right back to the well with Dylan Wright. I had a ton of exposure to Avery Bradley today just on a hunch, and it worked out. I wouldn't chase that every single day and go back to Avery Bradley, but he would also get a bump. Avery Bradley's a good three-point shooter. There's more shots to be had because of the way their roster is made up. The only other guy they've really got to shoot the basketball if Conley's out is Justin Holiday. Ivan Rabb and Jaren Jackson work the inside. You have to love both those guys at this price tag. You want to compare a different game. You look at Siakam, you look at Ibaka, 2 power forwards. I would much rather play Jaren Jackson and Ivan Rabb against the Bulls in a 2-point spread than I would play Siakam and Ibaka in, I think, 11 or 14 spread against Washington. So I think both those guys are definitely in play at that spot. Dylan Wright will get a bump as well. You go right back to the well with him. And that's kind of where I'm at with Memphis.
Yeah, man. And on the Bulls side of things, I mean, there's a couple guys you could definitely look at. Marketing, Zach Levine, both of their price tags are up, but both of them have been playing very, very well. I think that Marketing and Levine are GPP plays. Chris Dunn is a game time decision. If Chris Dunn is ruled out, I think that gives a boost to Zach Levine, and I definitely would consider him in cash games because he'll be going to the point guard spot, and we see what he did earlier in the year when he was a point guard. Another guy that I actually like, and I think you could possibly play him in cash games is Otto Porter, 7,100. I mean, he just moved over to the Bulls and he just fits right in. He's been there and three straight games. He's got you 33, 34, 37 minutes. He's going to play a ton of minutes. He scored you at least 17 points for three straight. Fills up the stat sheet. We know that about Otto Porter. I really like Otto Porter. I think that Otto Porter is a good play, very fair price tag. Like I said, the other guys are priced up, but they're still GPP plays. If Chris Dunn is ruled out, you could take a flyer on a guy like Ryan Arcanino, or Shaquille Harrison. We see them, kind of come in and have a couple good games when Chris Dunn was out. But that's really where I'm at with the Bulls.
I completely forgot to say Valanciunas. I apologize. I love Valanciunas tomorrow. I think he's at this point, I think he's probably maybe the best center on the slate outside of Kevin Looney because DeMarcus Cousins has already been ruled out. But 5.2 in his debut, I think he had 21 minutes, 23 points, and like 12 rebounds. Let me just see if we've got the news. Do we have the news on him?
23 and 10.
23 and 10 and 21 minutes. So we have taken centers against Chicago all year. And look, Eastern Conference opponent, the guy's familiar with Chicago. And it wasn't an injury thing that they were waiting to play him on. It was a paperwork issue. So he's cleared. He played tonight. Monster game in his debut. Forgot to mention Valanciunas. I love him again.
Yeah, that's a great call. Great call right there. Moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the Miami Heat going into Dallas to face the Mavericks. This game has a 209 over-under, and Dallas is favored by 2.5 in this one.
So they don't have really a center here, right? That's Dallas. They don't really have a center here. Hassan Whiteside, the minutes we know the minutes have been down, but if you pop open his game log and take a look at the last time they played Dallas, he played, I think, 25 minutes and had 20 or 44 fantasy points. So he can produce and has produced. This was against the DeAndre Jordan team, 44.8 in 26 minutes, 25, 14, 2, and 1. So we know Whiteside's capable of doing that. With Whiteside, for a big portion of this year, it's been about one thing, and that's minutes. I'm not going to chase Dion Waiters and any of that tomorrow. I'm fine with it for tournaments. I'm fine with Winslow for tournaments. I'm even fine with Richardson for tournaments, and Dwayne Wade for tournaments. But I think that you could take maybe the guy who's closest to being a cash game play here is Whiteside, just because of the fact that they don't have a true center. It's a spot Whiteside can really dominate early in. I just don't like to play Whiteside on the road. He just doesn't. His home road splits are completely inverted.
Yeah, man, for sure. And then on the Dallas side of things, I mean, come on, man. You got to go with your boy Luka Doncic. The guy's been playing very, very well. Really a power forward that's playing point guard is what it's really coming down to. I mean, the guy's just, I mean, he's a baller. And right now, he's almost getting a triple-double basically every single night. He's doing everything, playing a ton of minutes. Hey, if they're going to win games, they need this guy to play well. So I definitely think you could go to that well. It's not a give me price tag anymore. I mean, that's the thing. Another guy, I like Tim Hardaway, 5,600. Very fair price tag for Tim Hardaway. He's played at least 26 minutes and 4 straight. I definitely think he's going to get right around 30 or 32 minutes. They're going to need scoring. He's a guy that we know has 40, 50 fantasy point upside. This is a very good vital opportunity with him. He's going to have one of those games. It's coming. And, when it comes, they don't remember that I told you that it's coming. So I like him. Doncic, Hardaway. And that, honestly, for me, that's really where I'm at with the Mavericks.
I think Dorian Finney-Smith's okay in tournaments. I just think that there may be better guys at small forward number 2 that we just talked about as well.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on. Next game we're going to go with it is going to be the Sacramento Kings going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 231 over-under, and Denver's favored by 8 in this one.
This is a rough one, man, because I really, everybody knows you watched for the first half of this year, and I'm big on Sacramento. I like them. It's a high implied total, 111.5. The prices look great on everybody. Buddy Hield's price is great at 6.4. Darren Fox at 7.5. Harrison Barnes is right in his wheelhouse at 5.4. He can get value for you. We know that. It's just against Denver, and it's in Denver, and Denver is so good defensively. They just suffocate people. So if I was going to play anybody, it would probably be Marvin Bagley here, just because I like the spot for him, the way the game flow goes, and when he's going to come in the game. He's a very active player. Marvin Bagley is a very large man too. I mean, if you haven't watched Sacramento to actually watch Bagley play, he's large. Marvin Bagley is a really large man. So he's more of a center. He's not really a power forward. He comes in for Willie Cauley-Stein, and then he plays next to Giles, and Giles is actually the guy who plays the power forward, and Bagley plays the center spot. So I would take a look at him. I think Boban is interesting in tournaments. For his ability to knock down the three-pointer. If this game's going to stay close, I think that Sacramento's got to knock down a lot of threes. So then you have to look at Buddy Hield, then you have to look at a guy like Bogdanovich. Outside of that, man, I can't. It's hard for me to get exposure to Sacramento going against Denver here.
Yeah, man. On the different side of things, I mean, there's some definitely guys we could look at. Nikola Jokic, I think this is a spot. He could definitely have a really good game, 10.9. He's going to give you a solid floor. He's a big guy that passes the ball, gets rebounds, plays defense. I mean, he has really good upside here going against Sacramento. He played him earlier in the year and got 50 fantasy points. I mean, there you go. He's showing you his floor. Mason Plumlee, it kind of surprised me. Paul Millsap came back last game, played off the bench. Mason Plumlee still got 30 minutes, and he produced right there what he's been doing, 29, 30 fantasy points. He's giving you a solid floor. If he's going to stay in that starting lineup, then I really like him. What they'll do is they'll start him, and then he'll come out. Plumlee will come in for him. I'm sorry, Millsap will come in for him, and then he'll come back in for Jokic. That's kind of the little rotation they have. So Plumlee's going to continue to start. I like him once again at 6,000. Fair price tag. Jamal Murray, he's came back from injury now a couple games, and he hasn't really had that game, and it's coming. It definitely is coming where he's going to have, score 30-plus actual points and have a 50 burger. It's definitely coming, and this is a good spot. It's going to be an up-tempo game going back and forth. I think Jamal Murray is a good GPP play. My favorite play, though, Will Barton, still under 6,000. He's gonna play 32, 33 minutes in this game. Thing about him is even when he doesn't score, he still fills up the stat sheet, so you don't really get too burned, and he has upside. He has 40 fantasy point upside. I like Will Barton a lot. I think he's a really, really good play. Beasley, he's getting some minutes while Harris is out. You could throw him in there. Millsap, the minutes are down. Not interested in him. So that's really where I'm at with the Nuggets.
I think Mason Plumlee is the new starting power forward.
Yeah, I like it too, bro. They play well together.
I just think that moving when Gary Harris does come back and moving Paul Millsap to the bench, I think that this is their starting five with Beasley, Barton, Plumlee, Jokic, and Murray, and then they've got Monte Morris has been outstanding for them, and he comes in off the bench as a great other point guard. They got Millsap, Lyles. It's a good. They add Gary Harris to that off the bench. They're a deep team.
But honestly, once Gary Harris comes back, though, Beasley's going to go back to the bench. They're not going to start Beasley over Harris.
I don't know, man.
Hey, we'll see.
I don't know.
Moving on, next game we're going to go with, it's going to be the Phoenix Suns going into Los Angeles to face the Clippers. This game, we're waiting on some news, so we don't have an over-under or a Vegas line yet either. Go ahead and get us started with the Phoenix side of things.
Are you going to say to play Zubac or no?
I don't know.
I'm just curious. I'm curious on that.
I have to look at it.
Look, DeAndre Ayton at 7.4. I think it's a very good price tag for DeAndre Ayton. I think DeAndre Ayton could possibly be one of the more popular centers tomorrow night. It's a good spot for him. People are going to look over at Zubac and see what Zubac did in the last game. They're going to have that recency bias there that he had 1.2 fantasy points in a chalk spot. So I think that people will naturally look to say, okay, I can play DeAndre Ayton. I like DeAndre Ayton going against the Clippers here. So I think Ayton will be owned. Devin Booker, 8.4. I'm not sure I want to go there. I think there'll be a ton of points in this game when the numbers come out. I think it'll be a very high over-under. Josh Jackson's price got too expensive, and that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really want to have too much exposure here. I'm more interested in the Clippers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man, for sure. On the Clipper side of things, okay, I'm going right back to the well and Zubac. If he's going to be in the starting lineup again, I'm going back to the well. 4,200. I'll take the 4,200 in my job spot if he's going to start tomorrow. I'm again.
49 fantasy points the last time he played against Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Yep. Nope. I know. That's what I said. I'm going right back to the well, bro. I don't care. Hey, like I said, 4,200. Like Bus, he'll be the drop spot. I got full confidence. As long as I know he's going to be a starter tomorrow, I'm going right back to it. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. This
Bro,
is
you know what? Hey, real quick. That was I can't believe I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you. It was a chalk play. It was the right play, but Doc Rivers did it all year with playing a real center against a real center. He doesn't do it. Like you look at Boban when the whole Boban mania was going on, Boban didn't play against teams that ran. They just didn't. If they had a center like a Carl Anthony Towns or whatever, he would try to mismatch that with a Harrell and go run. You know what I'm saying? So we should have seen that one coming. I'm still a little angry about that. I think my point being is I think that was more matchup based than it was just Zubac shit in the bed.
Yeah, no, I get you. So, I mean, this Phoenix, bro. I mean, all starters, all five of them are very good price tags. They're all very fair. Zubac, Temple, they can both be used as drop spots. Alexander, I mean, the guy hasn't been playing necessarily the best, but he has upside. We know that. I mean, Phoenix is Phoenix. It is what it is. So I think all the starters are in play. And then we get to the bench. Harrell, Lou Williams, they both should be starters and play starter minutes. I think that their minutes could get buzzed off tomorrow. I think this game could get quickly out of hand, and those guys, they may get their minutes buzzed off. And the price tag, Harrell 7.8, Lou Williams 8.1. They're not giving me price tags, but like I said, against Phoenix, they are in play along with the starters. And then one more guy I do want to throw in there is JaMychal Green. This guy, he's a really good player. 4,100. In last game against Minnesota, played 20 minutes, got you 11, 7, and 1. If this game does blow out, this is maybe he could possibly be a guy that they'll give extended run to because they want to get a look, kind of see how he's looking. So I think that he's definitely in play as well, and that's really where I'm at with the Clippers.
Cool.
Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Golden State Warriors going into Portland to face the Trailblazers. We don't have an over-under or Vegas line yet, and I just wanted to mention that the Warriors will be on the second end of a back-to-back as well.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, load them up, move on. Easy, period.
Nobody else?
Tournaments, you want to play Durant, fine. Draymond, you want to play Draymond tournaments, fine, go ahead. You want to play Andre in tournaments, fine, go ahead. You want to play Kevin Looney tomorrow in tournaments, fine, go ahead. Kevin Looney's a fine drop spot play. But
it's
look,
going to be a backcourt battle is what you're saying.
I'm just telling you that we both live very close to here. This is our local, for both of us, it's our local team, right? We may be Laker fans, but our local team network is the Warriors. We watch a lot of them. I'm telling you right now, I've seen this play out many times. The two guys that play the best, and you can look at the game logs to prove it. Steph Curry averages 48 fantasy points for his career against Portland. Just take a look at that. He's 9.1, 5X is 45. Load Steph Curry up. It's an underpriced price tag on him. They are chomping at the bit to go to All-Star break, get their little break, get rested, and then come out and just take the Western Conference down and go do what they do. They're dying to do that. Klay Thompson, look, he dislocated his finger. The guy goes to the locker room, pops it back in, comes out like nothing ever happened, and starts dropping bombs on people. So Klay Thompson, any given night, I feel like his floor is 30. He has the upside of 60. He can get going, he can get hot. The way this matches up with these two teams, it just Klay Thompson eats up CJ McCollum. He just does. And Steph Curry and Dame Lillard will go back and forth. Dame plays very well against Golden State as well, but Steph Curry at 9-1, averaging more than 5X here. You have to love that, right? And to me, I'm loading Steph Curry up and everything tomorrow. I think that they're chomping at the bit to go to the All-Star break. They're going to come out swinging, and I think players remember things because Let me just back this up. This same exact spot last year, Portland blew their doors off in Portland right before going to the All-Star break on ESPN. This game's on ESPN, and Steph Curry said in his post-game interview tonight, we are looking forward to going to Portland tomorrow night and finishing out this first half before we go to the break. It's coming right off a win, tough defensive battle. I think they're going to come out tomorrow, and they're going to look to smoke these guys, just like I mentioned with Milwaukee, make a statement going into the All-Star break. I just think that's going to happen here. You want to play Durant, fine. 9.9, we know it's a 10-5 player, so he's underpriced. But I just think, for me, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, load them up, move on. I'd say the same thing about Nurkic. Load them up, move on.
Yeah, on the Trailblazer side of things, I mean, there's a couple guys you could look at. I like Nurkic. His price is down right now, 8.4, with no DeMarcus Cousins in the lineup tomorrow. Great spot for Nurkic. I definitely think he can have an absolute monster game. Dame Lillard, 10.2. I don't got to say nothing. All I got to say is Damian Lillard against the Warriors, his hometown team. Hey, he always plays very, very well against the Warriors. Love him in this spot. Another guy, CJ McCollum. Price tag came back down, 6.6. It's going to be a very high scoring game. There's going to be a ton of points on both sides. They're going to need McCollum to score the ball. And I definitely think that you could look at McCollum. And then, so I really like those three guys, the three-man guys. And the one guy that I am looking at really closely right now is Maurice Harkless. He's 3,600. All you need is 18 for value. This year, he's already played the Warriors 2 times. He had really, really, solid games. Nothing, crazy out the box, but 28, 29 fantasy points. Yes, he played a little bit more minutes, but he's due for a little bit of an uptick in minutes. And I definitely can see the coach, hey, man, you've already played them well 2 times. You match up well against them. We're going to get you 28 to 30 minutes in this spot. And I definitely think he's a guy that you could look at. And if he doesn't have that game, hey, 3.6, drop spot on Fanduel, just kind of move on. So I like him along with Nurkic, Lillard, McCollum, strictly GPP for me. And, yeah, I mean, that's really where I'm at with Portland. Cool.
Rodney Hood's a good tournament play tomorrow.
Rodney Hood. Yeah, for sure. So, hey, that's all we got for you guys. Hey, 11 games, took forever. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't too bad, but hey, we love doing it. We love, sitting around, talking to you, some DFS with you guys. We will be back tomorrow with our NBA Core Plays video, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, have the notifications turned on. This way you don't miss any of our videos. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the website, dfscheatsheet.com. If you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing every night, or come check out our optimizer, Max Center with 150 entries in a contest. Come have some fun, man. You can do it all here, dfscheatsheet.com. Outside of that, if we don't talk to you before then, good luck on your contest tonight. Peace out.